everybody, I'm back with a book haul, just as promised. See if I can lift this without cropping stuff. There's quite a few things, all from either the freebie box at the library or the little free library. We'll start with these because they're pretty much, I'll group it as one thing. There's a bunch of crossword puzzle books that I found in the freebie box at the library. So there's this great big crosswords, and then there's stuff falling. 1, 2, 3 large print crosswords. And 2 crossword companion. And this one is crossword pocket puzzles. But I love this cover. Look how pretty that is. With kind of this gold foiling and the pink, teal, and purple. That is really a pretty cover. It's a little bit nicer book than the others. And I've only seen 2 of them that look like anybody's even tried to do any of the puzzles. Now, hold on a second. I gotta get these ones that fell on the floor. Alright. I guess that means these want to go first. So I have Psyche, the Feminine Poetic Consciousness, an anthology of modern American women poets. That is a cool looking cover. I like the eye and the trees. Let's see. See if I recognize any of the poets in here. Is there a listing? Here we go. We're starting with Emily Dickinson. Oh, I love Emily Dickinson. Eleanor Wiley. Don't recognize her name. Marianne Moore. Gwendolyn Brooks, I recognize. Mae Swenson. Denise Levertov. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Bess Miller. Brigham. Mary Evans, Carolyn Kaiser, Ann Sexton, Adrienne Rich, Patricia Godicke, maybe? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Sylvia Plath, Marge Piercy, Rochelle Owens, Diane Wachowski, Margaret Atwood. I hope her poetry is better than The Handmaid's Tale. I hated The Handmaid's Tale with a passion. Lynn Lifshin, Erica Jong. Erica Jong, I believe, is the one that wrote, was it Fear of Flying? And then later on she wrote Fear of 50, I think it was. Nikki Giovanni. So that's a pretty good selection of poets. I recognize at least half of the names. And I'm glad there's a really good selection of Dickinson. When not need be a chamber to be haunted. When need not be a house. The brain has corridors surpassing material place. I like that one. That's a good one. Obviously it's a lot longer than that, but some of these I don't recognize right off the bat, so that's a good selection, and some I'm not familiar with, so something to look forward to. This one is called Snow Angel by Tom Racina. I don't know what it's about, but it looks like it might be a thriller. Double murder, shocking trial, woman betrayed, chilling suspense. Julia Larson has stepped into a nightmare. What was supposed to have been a joyous family reunion has become deadly as she finds her parents' bloodied corpses inside their secluded mountain retreat. Can't imagine walking in and finding your parents dead and bloody. Ick. Uh, Julia, estranged from her husband, turns to longtime friend Matthew Henson, a charismatic and handsome man to whom she's always been attracted. Then the unthinkable happens, as Matt is arrested for the brutal murders. Julia is the only person who believes in his innocence, but as the trial begins amid a spectacular media circus, she becomes caught in a war between passion and doubt. Has Matt been framed, or is he the brilliant killer the police claim he is? And if so, just how safe is she in his clutches? So that's Snow Angel by Tom Racina. And this is Suspicion of Malice by Barbara Parker. I've heard of Barbara Parker, but I don't think I've read any of her stuff before. Again, I believe this is probably a thriller. Best-selling author of Suspicion of Betrayal. Oh crap, is this part of a series? Yes. Suspicion of betrayal, suspicion of guilt, suspicion of deceit, suspicion of innocence. I hope these are also can be standalone because, yeah. Anyway. Attorney Gail Connor is still reeling from her devastating breakup with Anthony Quintana. When his teenage daughter secretly approaches Gail to defend her boyfriend in a capital murder case, Gail agrees, believing her client can be easily cleared with the testimony of a reluctant witness. But when Gail goes to meet with the man, she instead comes face to face with his lawyer, Anthony Quintana. The air crackles between them. The attraction is as strong as ever, yet newly mixed with anger and pain. Somehow they must master their emotions and work together to prevent a terrible miscarriage of justice, for a young man's life hangs in the balance and there is no margin for error. Am I not catching something? Agrees leaving her client can easily be cleared with the testimony of a reluctant witness, but when Gail goes to meet with the man, she comes face to face with his lawyer. So I guess they're going to be a lawyer team then. Okay. Something wasn't clicking, but I think I got it now. This one is called Baking Soda. Hundreds of Household Uses by Diane Sutherland, John Sutherland, Liz Keevil, and Kevin Ayers? E-Y-R-E-S. Ayers? This one looked interesting. It looks brand new. I don't know that it's ever been used. It's got, like, ways that you can use baking soda to, like, clean and do various things, refresh your furniture, what have you. Use it in your laundry. Relieve bites and stings. Yeah, when we would get bee stings, we'd make a paste out of baking soda and water, and it would help draw that out. Use it to help with chicken pox, soothe your allergic skin. If you got dry skin, add it to your bath. Use it for your teeth, body odor, pest control, making clay. There's some snack recipes, like crunchy toffee. The making a volcano thing. Whole section on food with recipes. Irish soda bread. Cheese-crusted potato biscuits. Ooh, that sounds good. Fruity apple tea bread. I think this looks really yummy. You see the apples on top? That looks good to me. Why do they have... It looks like gnocchi next to it. Whatever. Butter, brown sugar, raisins, apple juice, apple, egg, flour, cinnamon, ginger, baking soda. Yeah, that looks good. I would eat that. Maple pecan and lemon loaf. Ooh, lemon. Carrot cake. So basically, it's just recipes that happen to have baking soda in them. Chocolate chip cookies. Yeah. So I picked it up because of the recipes, but I like that it's got all those other uses in there as well. So along the same lines, there is healing remedies, more than 1,000 natural ways to relieve the symptoms of common ailments from arthritis and allergies to diabetes, osteoporosis, and many others. By Joan Weiland and Lydia Weiland. I hope I'm saying their names correctly. So there's that. I get a lot of colds, especially in wintertime. I thought this might help. Orgasm heightener. The ancient Japanese masters of sensuality invented baignoire balls. Later, in the 18th century, French women referred to them as pommes d'amour, or love apples. So this is telling you to use... I wasn't expecting that to be in here. Okay, basically what it does is it helps you tighten. So there's a whole section in here on sex. Who knew? Itching, headaches, eye problems, coughs. So I will definitely be checking out that section because I do get coughs quite often. Sometimes it's allergies, sometimes it's from colds. Okay, so cough syrup. Combine the juice of 1 lemon, 1 cup of honey, ½ cup extra virgin olive oil. Cook for 5 minutes over medium heat. Stir vigorously for a couple of minutes and put in a bottle. Take 1 teaspoon every 2 hours. Oh, that's gross. No, not doing that. Peel and finely chop 6 medium onions. I don't like onions. Gross. Put them in a ½ cup of honey in the top of a double boiler or in a pan over a pot of boiling water. So basically make your own double boiler. Cover the mixture, let it simmer for 2 hours. Strain the concoction, which we call onion syrup, and pour it into a jar with a cover. Take 1 tablespoon every 2 to 3 hours. Why would you ruin good honey with putting all those onions in it? Ooh, gross. And here they're mixing horseradish with honey. Or you can substitute a finely chopped clove of garlic for the horseradish. No. Apple cider vinegar, water, cayenne pepper. I could do that. Some of these things are a little out there. But I do like that it gives you... Ooh, what's this? Al's joint juice for arthritis. ½ cup hot water, 1 teaspoon red balsamic vinegar, 1 teaspoon honey, 1½ tablespoons extra virgin olive oil, 1½ tablespoons flaxseed meal. Combine and drink once a day. Make fresh daily. I guess it's supposed to help you with arthritis. I don't know what about it is good for your arthritis. Gin-soaked raisins? What's that for? Well, that's for arthritis. Okay, I can go for that one. Don't really drink a lot of gin, but things I've had gin in have been alright. So I thought this might be interesting, and I would much rather have some sort of natural cure versus taking a bunch of drugs. Sprains, strains, and muscle pains. Smoking. Sleep. Ooh. Who couldn't use a little help with getting good sleep? So I think this one will be an interesting one to, have as a reference. They got two more. Let's go with this one first. Horse Feathers and Other Curious Words by Charles Earl Funk and Charles Earl Funk Jr. I wonder if they're the Funk from, was it Funk and Wagner? Funk and Wagnall. Yeah. Charles Earl Funk was an editor-in-chief of the Funk and Wagnall's Standard Dictionary series. Okay, so this is basically a book about words and phrases and their origins. And I love that kind of stuff. Why is a common roadside weed in some parts of the country known as Joe Pye weed? Why is butterscotch so named? Or belladonna? How did nuthatch get its name? Or that insect, the earwig? Why is a certain southern food called hush puppy? How did it happen that the log supports in a fireplace became known as andirons or sometimes fire dogs? The origins of these words are discussed in this book, together with those of more than 600 other common terms like hallmark, kickshaw, polecat, sherry, talisman, or talesman. Talisman's with an I, and this has an E instead. Talesman, I guess. Torpedo and zodiac. I just thought this one sounded like fun. I don't know. I think it's really cool learning the origins of different words. So let's just randomly open. What do we got? Larboard? Never heard that one. The first element, lar, is often assumed to have been a corruption of laid, thus making larboard the side of a vessel for loading, the side opposite the steering side or starboard. The assumption is logical, but the sad fact is that it cannot be traced. As a lawyer would say, not proven. Okay, I've never heard larboard. I have heard starboard and leeward or port. Usually you hear starboard and port. Fiddle faddle, peanut, hush puppy. I think the story I always heard about hush puppy was that in the old South, when they were cooking, and if the dog was making noise, they'd fry a bit of dough and throw it to the dog and tell it to hush. I don't know. I didn't read the thing in here. Here's the thing about Frankenstein. Sunburn, cock horse, flop house, toilet. Huh. I think this is going to be fun. That's definitely my kind of book. And the last one, I think I may already have a copy of, but I have no idea where it would be at the moment. This is The Family of Man, about the greatest photographic exhibition of all time, 503 pictures from 68 countries, created by Edward Steichen for the Museum of Modern Art. And then the prologue to this book is by Carl Sandburg. This was a huge, huge, huge deal. I was a photography major. We talked about this several times. Let's see if I can find some... A lot of portraits. It's mostly portraits. I like this one of the hands. I just think that's really fantastic. I wish it was a slightly better print. says it's from the USA by Russell Lee. Those hands, they tell a story. You could tell that person has been around and worked hard. I wish I could have seen the exhibition in person, but it was before I was born. So, obviously, didn't get a chance. But this is the next best thing. I can at least see... I wonder what's going on there. Are these all American? No, that one's from England. Most of these are all Americans except for... This one is from England. The rest are all American. But, I mean, I'm curious about this one. What exactly is going on? Because the one woman's got her arm around the guy's waist, and then the other one's kind of leaning on his shoulder. Does this guy have two women? Interesting. He looks like he may have been a soldier because he's got that hat on. Makes it look like he's a soldier. This one by Henri Cartier-Bresson. This one here. I really like that. I think that's a beautiful portrait of the lady. But it makes me also interested in what's going on because of the man in the background. I would like to see an updated edition of this book with better prints. But it's definitely one, if you're interested in art history, especially photography history, definitely one to keep on a reference shelf. And I'm sure I know I have had at some point a copy, and I probably have it stored away somewhere. But when I saw this as an option in the freebie box, I had to have it. This is a very international page. We've got one from Mexico, one from Africa, Poland, USA, Japan, Indochina, which is what, like Vietnam, I guess? Italy, Korea, and Austria. Some really good portraits. Very interesting. So, yeah, this definitely worth getting a hold of if you can find a copy. Does it say what year this was? Copyright 19... I think it says 55? That's okay. I don't want to know when the exhibition was. Don't tell me. I mean, the introduction by Edward Steichen, who created the exhibition, doesn't even tell what year it was. Wonder why they didn't bother to tell us. Okay, the prologue by Carl Sandburg. Yeah, there's no dates in it either. But it looks like copyright 19... I think it says 55. It might say 65. It's in very fine print in a kind of an italicized font, so it's really hard to read. I don't know. Obviously, it was before this was printed, so in the 50s, I guess. But definitely, if you're interested in the history of photography, it's one to pick up and take a look at. like I said, I'd like to see an updated version with clearer photos. I think it's time to update it. But that's all I have for this one. Much shorter than my previous video. Like an hour shorter. More than an hour shorter. But that's all I have for this book haul. So I guess I'll wrap it up, and remember to do all the YouTube things. Comment, like, share, subscribe. Ring the bell icon to be notified of future uploads. Maybe, if the algorithm does it. I still don't get notifications of things that I've clicked, so, who knows. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Most likely I don't. Hopefully they can get that so it's a little more consistent. It'd be nice if, like, things I'm subscribed to would actually show up in my feed sometimes instead of all new stuff, but whatever. Yeah. And a reminder that I will put in the description box the donation link for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, because it is, like, Blood Cancer Awareness Month for September. And I've been participating in the 30 hours of gaming in 30 days. I'm so far past that 30 hours. I'm just not getting any donations. And, yeah, that makes me a little sad that nobody's supporting the charity, but it's a well worthwhile charity. So if you have the means and are so inclined, it would be deeply appreciated by the, charity as well as myself. I would appreciate it if you would be so inclined to do so. Other than that, that's all I've got today, so we will see you later. Bye.